Welcome and welcome. Focus on Liberia here in Hamilton, Canada. I'm Anthony Sierra reporting. Welcome. We are actually at the headquarters of Empowerment Square. Empowerment Square is headquarters in Hamilton, Canada. The head of this institution, Empowerment Square, is Leo Johnson, our own Liberian brother, who is doing an amazing work. And he invited Focus on Liberia to come and actually see his facility, the headquarters, and the work that they are doing here. So I want you to join me as we tour the headquarters of Empowerment Square here in Canada. And Leo is actually here, and he will be leading me, and I'll be asking him some questions about the facility here and basically what they are doing here. So bear with me here as I flip my camera around. With me here. Here we go. Okay. So Leo Johnson, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you so much, Anthony, and thank you for making the trip all the way down here from the U.S.
Okay, so how are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing very well. It's been a beautiful weekend. I've been doing my presidential duties, but this visit was important, so we wanted to make it happen.
All right. Thanks for the invitation, and we are glad to be here. Focus on Liberia. You are a Liberian, so we'll try to focus on an institution that a Liberian has established. And we are at your headquarters, by the way.
Yes, we are.
Where specifically are we right now?
So you just came in the entrance of the space, and where we are right now is where, first of all, we acquired this space in the middle of the pandemic.
Okay.
So we've been doing a lot of construction work because we didn't like the way it looked, so we wanted to give it our identity. Most of the colors you can see as we go through are colors from our logo directly.
Okay.
Where we are right now is where the receptionist is going to be positioned. The guys are working, but when they're done, all this will look nice up and everything. And the reception will be right here, because when you walk in, that's the first person you talk to.
Okay.
And guide you where to go.
Okay. And Leo, you said the colors that we're going to see are colors within your logo.
Yeah.
And why is that important?
It's very, very important. Identity and branding is key. But number two, when you're working with younger people, youth and kids, color is an extremely important piece. When you tell a kid, go to the blue door, they know exactly where to go. The pink door, the orange door, or the black door. Compared to say, go to the room after the first room to your left or to your right. Even for adults, it gets complicated.
Okay. So where are we going next?
So where we're going is an interesting room. First, this is the culture room. But we also can use it for different things. Again, you see the color coding on the wall.
Right.
We have what we call here the orange wall. We have what we call the green wall.
The green wall.
And here we have the pink wall.
The pink wall. I mean, focus on the pink wall right here. This is the pink wall.
And you can see how it is very, very easy to tell. When you tell a kid, the code is on the orange wall. They know exactly where to look. On the pink wall, where to look. These are remnants of bicycles you see. I know some people will be wondering.
Yes.
That's one of the things we do. We distributed a lot of bicycles for kids whose parents cannot afford it, believe it or not. Even in Canada or even in the United States, there are people here who are really struggling. Or sometimes it's not just a priority for some families. And then behind me there are two washrooms.
Washrooms, yeah.
They're all unisex washrooms. One is accessible for people who may not be able to turn the door handle, and the other one is just a retrofit.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the things we've done with this space is to make it multi-use.
Okay.
Instead of just keeping on one thing, where you're coming through the orange door that you're looking at here.
Right, the orange door.
Yeah. This is going to be a programming room.
Programming room.
What that means is it could be a classroom, it could be a workshop room, it could be multiple things. As you can see, it's still empty. The whiteboards just started coming in, furniture, everything will be coming in. But what this room has been used for is one of our programs called the Access Program, where we provide technology and access to technology for families who desperately need it.
Okay.
So if you look here, these are remnants of thousands of computers we've distributed over the COVID pandemic. As you know, all of the kids have to go to virtual school. And if you have 5 children, and they all have to be on Zoom at the same time, you need 5 working computers that they can be on. So we partner with the university and a bunch of other partners in the city, where we bring in all these computers, refurbish them if we have to, and then be able to hand them out to families fully loaded, all of the softwares, everything paid for.
So what are you going to do with the remaining ones?
So what we'll do with the remaining ones, the technicians will take a look at them first of all, because we don't want to give people a computer that doesn't work or work well. So the technicians take a look at them first. If they're in almost new condition, they will change any parts that is old or whatever on it before we hand it out. Some of them will test that you can't give this to somebody to use. It's going to be way too slow, and these become the recycle ones.
It's obvious that what I'm hearing from your focus, young people are the ones that you are focusing on more.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's important because we often say, and we did a survey, there's evidence to back this up.
Okay.
We did a survey a while ago with about 32 parents, and we said to them, what are 2 top things you want if someone show up and says, say I'll make it happen?
Right.
Number one, especially for immigrant parents, number one was that the opportunities they did not have so that their children can get it together. That was number one. Number 2 was for them to get good jobs or wages or income to support their families.
Exactly.
And then we did the same survey with the children and said, name 2 things. If someone shows up and said, name it, I'll give it to you. Number 1 was play. So basketball, soccer, you name all of the different games. And number 2 was good jobs. But what that meant was a good education, because you don't skip that part. So the 2 things are aligning with the parents and the kids. And we say, why do you have to do only one? Do both.
Okay.
So when you support kids in isolation, you create a bigger problem, because you're leaving the parents behind.
Right.
And that's why we support holistically both the kids and the parents, so that they can all come along.
All right. So where do we go next?
So here in this corner, blue doors are doors only accessible by staff.
Okay.
So these are staff offices. There are 4 offices right here for our staff.
Okay.
This office is the office of our director of operations. They all just started moving in. Some of them, as you will know, Anthony, you saw our other location downtown where we used to work from a lot. This is our second location. This is now our headquarters.
And this one is even larger.
It's way bigger, almost 4 or 5 times larger than the other one. So our director of operations office is here.
Okay.
And here is our manager for development. All right. Our manager for development office is also going to be right in here. And then here is going to be our manager for partnerships and community outreach, right in this office. And then behind you is going to be our manager for strategic initiatives.
Okay.
In this office here. So these are 4 staff offices right in the corner here.
Okay.
Yeah. And as we walk through the space, part of the goal here is to make sure that you create facilities for children that are so good that when they walk in, they can know that somebody thought about doing this well for us. And that is why that is key. That is just a printer room. There's nothing too exciting in there. But that equipment is very important.
It's very important. This is a printer room. Right.
And then this is the green door.
Okay, the green door.
This is another programming.
Okay.
And as you see it, it's set up in a way that everything is movable. So what that means is, if you need to have a board meeting or whatever that is, you can set up the room to accommodate that.
Okay.
If it is a workshop or it's a classroom time for the kids or whatever, you can reorganize it. We got the whiteboards, everything already set up. All of these rooms will have it. We just started installing them gradually.
Okay.
And back here is going to be part of the space. My office is going to be moved here. Okay. But right now they're still working. The guys are just working to get everything up to. So you see that door color change to one of our logo colors.
Okay.
Hopefully next time you're here, Anthony.
Yeah, next time here, probably that door will be blue.
Exactly. There you go, blue door.
So where are we heading right now?
We're heading to what we call a cafeteria, but also our event space.
Okay.
Which is another very important space. As you know, Anthony, our communities love to gather.
Right.
We love to gather. We love to have great times.
This is a huge space.
It is a massive space, as you said. So this is one of the spaces we use for community events and everything. But what's key is we don't just use it exclusively.
Okay.
We also make it available to smaller community groups that cannot afford to pay $1,500 or $2,500 for a hall somewhere. We can work with them to make the space available to them to also do the events.
At no cost to them.
At no cost to them. So that is the beauty of having a facility of this nature, where you have it, you can use it as you want, or you can also allow other groups to use it.
So how many person total can this space take?
It takes up to 150 people when you're using tables. If you choose to not use tables, it can take way more than that if you're only using chairs.
I see like a little court there, as a podium.
So
and I see a space there with a board behind it. What's that for?
So the white thing you're looking at is the projector screen. So we have a drop-down projector screen.
Okay.
And the projector projects directly on it on the wall. Up there you're seeing is a podium.
Right.
It's a microphone stand. So we have the whole PA system, everything set up that comes with it already. You don't need to say, oh, where do I find a speaker or a microphone? No, we got everything set up. You also see the lighting.
Yeah.
If you want to have a more type of upbeat event for younger people, they love the LEDs and stuff. You see the lights come on, and we can focus stage the lights based on how we want to do it.
I see some portraits on the wall.
These are amazing portraits. Our partners, the Children's Aid Society, that support children that are in danger. These are all portraits that they created depicting the beauty of children and the beauty of the diversity of children. So you will see all colors, all races, and some of the children themselves created some of the murals that we love to design on the wall that you were looking at directly. You see them from peace to everything.
The children actually did this painting.
Painting a lot of these.
All right.
Yeah. So, an amazing thing I try to do here also, Anthony, is thinking about how we think about things back home in Liberia.
Right.
So, we need to get that discipline of putting in the detailed thought. If we decide that we're building a school for children, that school should be somewhere where they want to leave them to come to every day. It's like they miss it when they go home.
Right.
They want to come back. Because that's what education should look like. It shouldn't be a place of torture.
And Leo, that is key, right? You were in school in Liberia. I know many kids would not like to go to school, but there were some kids, even with nothing at those schools, right? They would rather be there because they're where they get to meet their friends.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking if they can have a facility like this, I'm sure they're going to compete compared to all other kids all around the world.
And imagine how conducive it is, how much you learn when it's more conducive.
Right.
Right? Compared to when it's too hot.
Yeah.
And you can't even be comfortable. Or compared to when the rain starts falling, the water's leaking in the classroom and you have to move your chair somewhere else. But two, we just built poor facilities in Liberia because we have no respect. And when I mean we, I'm talking about the general, those in power, from the government to even private schools.
Right.
We have no respect for how sophisticated we need of an environment we need to create for our kids. And we have no respect for education. I will simply say that. Anybody who would build a school and allow children to sit in there when it's raining and it leaks, you don't have any respect for simple decency, regardless of who you are.
Another thing, Leo, when the kids gather, they want to eat something. Talk to me about that. Is that in the picture?
I'm going to take you to the next room.
Okay.
So that's the best place to have that conversation. So you can see where things are going.
Okay.
I don't think it's just the kids. When adults gather too, they want to eat.
They want to eat.
So let's talk about that. So this room, we have a beautiful kitchen here, by the way, commercial grade kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Everything. 2 fridges, stove tops. And the beauty of this is we can start to teach the kids the importance of making a meal.
Oh, wow.
When we bring our children here,
They are involved.
Exactly. And most immigrants, including Liberians, right? As soon as the kids want something to go buy pizza, they bring to McDonald's. Don't get me wrong. That's great. Once in a while, you want to do that stuff. But you want the kids to appreciate how to make food. So in here, 2 things go on. Sometimes we'll bring in actual chefs who will do food preparation with them. Or we'll bring in even volunteers from the community, parents. 1 week we might do Nigerian food. Where we bring parents from the Nigerian community. Another week we might do Liberian food. Most of the kids here, most of the people here know fufu. Fufu is the big thing. They love fufu. Like fufu is a big hit. But what you're doing while they're having food to eat is you're teaching them the value of what it means.
The culture of
to
it.
make food. And that is a big part of our culture.
Right.
Cooking your own food, making your own food. And what to buy. You send kids here to the grocery store to go buy something and come and cook. They cook. What do they get? Because it's not a usual thing.
No, not at all.
And that is why this room is extremely
And the facility is all set up for that.
Yeah, set up for that.
Let's get closer to the kitchen then.
You can see some of the stuff here. So we have this was supposed to be going to recycle. We have a little water fountain. Just to keep the water filtered for drinking. We don't need to buy water bottles all the time. Just fill up the fountain and then good to go. Here's one of the stove tops. There's 4.
This is stove there.
Yeah. So we got 2 of these set up right on the counter. Again, making the space compact. So the same thing we use as a counter is really the same thing that you use as a stove top. As you can see, we just had an event here on Tuesday. yesterday when we had the $1.9 million funding from the Canadian government announced, we had 2 cabinet ministers or whatever, so we had to treat our guests. And that's a beautiful thing. We can treat our guests in our own space. We don't have to go ordering things. And the 2 fridges, we have a program called the School Readiness Program for immigrant kids who just entered the country and about to get into the Canadian school system. They spend 2 weeks in a culturally appropriate curriculum environment to learn about what are they going to expect as they get into this new school.
And your institution is providing that?
We run that program.
Oh, wow.
So 2 intensive weeks, they're actually starting from August 22nd to September 2nd. It's robust. So before they hit the classroom for the first time, instead of getting shocked at things, they'll be like, what is this? They will already have some familiarity when they're getting, oh, okay, yes, I know what that is. Okay. And then the parents do the same. We need to teach the parents what they must do to support their children's education. That's where you must came from. Our parents were never involved in that.
And Leo, that is key, right? With my experience, when I came, I just sat before the TV and I was just looking at stuff. No one had time to show me because the people that I was stopping with, they were busy. So to see that you guys are thinking in that direction and preparing them for the society they're about to enter so that they can have the huge shock is key.
Yeah, and sometimes kids drop out of school because of that.
Right.
If the shock is that I've never touched a computer. One day the teacher just walked in, oh, today we're going to the computer lab. Because the teacher expects that everybody in the room is supposed to know it. And the kid is going like, what? I've never touched a computer before. What are you talking about computer lab? So it becomes very, very important. But most important is the parents. A lot of immigrant parents are completely disempowered when their children enter the school system here. Because the school expects that you have to communicate with the school as the parent. You have to be involved as a parent. Back home, the school are the authority. When they send you that, whatever they tell you, you not do it, they can do whatever they want to do to you because they are giving that full authority. Here, the school wants the parents to be involved. In fact, I will guarantee you, most children will not be successful if their parents don't support their educational journey.
I see a room there. What is
There's a room here. So this room is one of our supply rooms that we have. So if you look here, you'll see everything from folders, cabinets of glues, markers. These are all supplies. This is where we stack. Another thing we just did last week, we just distributed over, I think, 500 backpacks.
Oh, backpacks.
So back to school. So these backpacks are loaded with supplies already.
In them
already. So if you look here, all the things that we need for school.
Crayons,
markers, to crayons, to your folders. Arranging, to your paper rolls. These are already all loaded with your calculators. All of that stuff is already here.
Ready to go.
Ready to go. So we just gave over 500. And these ones are reserved mostly for the kids that will be entering the 2 weeks program. This would be what? So they will be like they're in school.
They're in school, yeah.
We have 2 certified teachers, so they will be mimicking the actual Canadian classroom for them. So when they go to school, they will just feel like, oh yeah, we're in class 2 weeks already. We know what that is.
This is a great head start.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no,
so where next do we go?
We're going to an important room where technology happens.
Technology.
Those of you who love technology, who love the internet, especially unlimited access to the internet.
All right.
And this is a space that you notice we have a key fob because everybody wants to be in this room.
To be in that room.
So we want to ensure that you got access before you get there.
Okay.
And this is our computer lab.
And why is the door having this color?
Again, color coding from our logo.
Right.
Because all the kids will know the pink door is the computer lab.
Okay.
Right? The blue door is office. We can go there. Only staff can go there.
Okay.
So it makes it simple for them.
Okay.
So the first room I will show you actually will be the room for our manager of programming. Educational programming.
Okay.
So she's setting up her stuff already. She will be using the lab a lot.
All right. Can I come in to see more?
Yeah.
Oh,
so this is the office for our manager of educational programming. She sets up with one of her coordinators.
Okay.
That's right here.
So 2 persons sharing this office.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because they use the computer lab a whole lot all the time. So that's why they set up in here.
Okay.
And then this computer lab is almost done. It's about 90% completed.
90% work done.
Yeah.
I want to sit in here right away and start school.
Exactly. The ambience of it makes you want to hang out.
Exactly.
Even if you didn't want to do work. And here, the only thing that's left is the overhead screens and projectors that will be going in at the front.
Okay.
But these, I will tell you something about these. These are custom built desks.
Okay.
Size for our use. So we measured the room and how we wanted the decks to go in, and these decks were built. So you wouldn't believe when you walk in first that there are 30 computer workstations right in here. First, when you walk in, it just looks like a desk.
30.
Exactly, where you sit down and work.
Oh, wow.
And we'll show you how the magic works.
Okay. Let's
So
see
you
that
look
magic.
here, there's a key, which means we can lock up the decks and you can't open it. If I lock up this desk here, and I remove the key, you cannot open it. It's locked.
Okay.
If I pull the keys back into it and open it up, you can flip it like this.
And then
All of a
open up.
sudden, and there's an opening in here in a cavity.
And what's in there?
And that's from the
That's a computer.
So the computer
Oh,
comes
wow.
up, the keyboard comes up, the mouse comes up, and you're ready to work. And everything is compact. So when times to use the computer, use the computer. When we don't need to use the computer, and we don't want people being distracted while someone's up teaching or doing something,
Right.
we don't need to get people distracted.
Put it back in.
We shut this up, and we close this up, and we have to lock it, we lock it, and we're good to go. So there are 30 workstations.
30 of them
Yeah.
in here.
Yeah.
All for the students.
Yeah.
And this is where technology happens.
This is what happens. And even the $1.9 million entrepreneurship program we're about to launch,
Right.
which was just announced by the Canadian government, a lot of that magic will be happening here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
So what next?
And we're going to the next place, which is a very important place that a lot of workplaces overlook nowadays, and it's for wellness. And that's what is supposed to be our meditation room.
Meditation.
Yeah, so it's just being set up. As you can see, the furniture was moved for the painting and everything to take place. So many times, sometimes you just blank. You're stressed.
Right, you're stressed.
There are just times where you can't think. You're sitting there, you can't get the stuff done. You just need to get away a little bit. If you just wanted a quiet space, this room, everybody knows.
This is a place
it's
to
quiet,
come.
it's quiet space. If you had a book you wanted to read, or you just wanted to just rest, just kind of sit down.
Or decompress.
You can come in here and have your quiet time
Okay.
as a staff. And then we're coming to where I spent. Some of you may recognize these walls.
Okay,
when
yes.
you see them. But this is interesting.
Okay.
This is my office.
This is your office.
And you cannot miss Liberia when you walk in, right on my desk. So this is where I hang out. This is where I work every day when I wake up in the morning. This is a space, and I love it because it's a beautiful space. Because of the people who work here and everything else. Yeah, so this is my office. This is where I sit and work. And I'll show you.
You can sit in your seat, Leo.
Yeah, and I have a whole arsenal of my Liberian books. I will name a few to you here.
Okay.
Some of them are almost extinct. Oh, actually, the recent one I've been digging in for the second time is Between the Cola Forest and the Salted Sea by the Patrick C. Burroughs.
Oh, wow. Excellent book.
That's the recent one I've been going through. That's my second read now. So, yeah.
So this is where you sit, and sometimes you go live.
Sometimes I go live. My phone is right here on my phone, little phone's tripod stand, and I go live from there. And sometimes I'm just working away.
I see it on the wall there. Talk to me about that.
So in 2014, the city of Hamilton, where I live, every year they select one person to honor and recognize for extraordinary contributions to the world in terms of their work.
Okay.
And this city is a city of about 500,000 people, so just over 500,000 roughly.
Right.
In 2014, I was nominated among a host of a lot of other people that get known for exploits around the world. And I was informed that my nomination won of all the nominations that were submitted, and I was awarded what they call the World Citizenship Award.
This is big. Did you expect that would happen?
No, I mean, especially giving some of the people you have to compete with in a place like this, from people traveling to war zones in Afghanistan, from journalists traveling to Iraq.
The boy from the refugee camp.
The boy from Buduburam refugee camp, or the boy from Bubajan Market.
I see an image here.
This one was given to me by a photographer who usually is commissioned to do portraits for presidents of Ghana, a very good friend of mine, and he took that picture. He dedicated it to me in honor of my work in Ghana as well.
Yeah, I know you've been going to Ghana, and you are doing some work there.
Yeah.
I will go to my camera and come with me here.
I'll walk you through.
Yeah, please. I see some portraits on the wall.
I'll start from here.
Yeah, let's start with the first one.
This first one is connected to all three. So these 4 portraits you see right here,
Right.
were done by a famous Hamilton artist, so we should consider that a living.
Okay.
And it was the prize for an essay competition of all the high schools. And
In Hamilton?
In Hamilton.
Okay.
In the city of Hamilton. And the city of Hamilton has one of the largest school boards in the country.
Okay.
So the winner of that competition, this artist gets commissioned to do a portrait in honor of that.
Okay.
And the winner of that, this was like, 25 years back, or 20 years back. The winner of this now, who has been following my work, decided to dedicate this award to me because of what this award represented. It represented people who had a definitive love and have made tremendous contribution to the city, and he felt I was deserving of it, so he dedicated this to me on my birthday a few years ago.
That is huge. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, I see another one here. I recognize the face there is Gandhi. Talk to me about that.
So this is the Distinguished Community Service Peace Award from the 24th Annual Gandhi Peace Festival at McMaster University. Okay. Again, they're looking for people who are cultivating not just development, but cultivating development in a way that de-escalates conflict. As you know, many a times, whether it's in our communities or wherever that is, you are confronted with all kinds of issues. How do you deal with it? And how are you able to still succeed in that type of environment without necessarily being part of the conflict? Okay. And after multiple nominations again, I was awarded this in 2016. Yep, I got the Gandhi Peace Award.
Again, in recognition of your work.
That is correct.
In the city of Hamilton, specifically for young people.
Yeah, and then on here, this award is very special to me, this one.
Which one? Okay.
This is the Black History Month Committee. It's called the Jc Holland Award. This is 2007.
Okay.
And it was given to me for youth achievement. The reason this award is important to me is because I was 1 year in Canada. I just came in 2006.
1 year?
Yeah, and one of my professors decided to nominate me, and I thought it was ridiculous or crazy. I didn't know my way around town even properly at the time. And he nominated me because of an experience at the university. There was a Liberian guy. I think there were only 2 Liberians in the university. He was dealing with some severe trauma issue.
Okay.
So sometimes he would throw a fit in the class, or there were 70 students.
Oh, wow.
And he would disrupt the class while the class is going on. And I took my time and went to the professor and informed him that it's something bigger than just somebody wanting to disrupt, because he became an object of people mocking him and stuff. And I befriended him and we became friends. So we started to sit together, and just through the type of connection we could have and talk about things, he became so calm, and the issues of disruptions stopped with that support. So it was one of the things that led my professor to nominate me for this award, and I won the award. There was about 500 people in a room that night easily, and I was asked to give a speech. And from that conversation, that speech that I gave, that's what set me off in Canada. Everybody came up, from media interviews to newspapers, in the newspaper on the front page the next day. And most of the relationships today that have made me what I am.
I would like to see that speech.
Started there. Yes, I'll be happy to share.
I see so many awards there. Yeah. Which one next?
So the next one, this one is given to me by the Liberty Young Achievers from Liberia. I was nominated, and they sent this to me directly. This one was given to me by the Liberian Community Association of Quebec.
Okay.
In honor of my leadership within the Liberian community. This one is a Visionary Award from the Afro Global TV. It's in Toronto. It's a Canadian TV station. It's called the Visionary Award in 2018. This one was given to me by McMaster University, and it's the Global Community Impact Award from McMaster University 2018. This one is from an organization called Higher Heights, in recognition of exceptional leadership in our community. And this one is from a group called Illuminescence. Also, this one was given to me for my valiant contributions to youth empowerment and gender equity in the city. And this one was given to me by Aberdoc Productions, which is a private company as well, that awarded that. All of these, I guess, I would say, a validation that Liberia has a lot to offer the world. If we just settle down and focus on what to do and be true to ourselves, there's a lot we can offer. Nobody goes through close to 2 decades of civil war. Ebola, hunger, poverty, starvation, you name all of it, and tell me you haven't
Bad
learned
governance.
bad governance, and tell me you haven't learned a thing or two about helping millions of people who may not even survive the first trauma.
I see a clock there.
Yeah.
And I see Africa, perfectly designed. It resembles us.
Yes.
Why is this in your office?
Identity is key, Anthony. And I say this to everybody, right? And the reason identity is key because you can never replace yourself. You can always enhance yourself. I think a lot of young black people, when we get here, we get so excited. And we think we can become the new hip thing on the block by being everything else except ourselves, especially Liberians. That's what we've done over the years. One day we wanted to be the Americans, another day we want to be Ghanaians, another day we want to be Nigerians, another day we want to be everything else except ourselves. And in a place like this, where you are so saturated and inundated by everything around you that doesn't look like you sometimes,
Right.
it's an important reminder to keep yourself grounded, that when you look around you, you will not forget remaining authentic to yourself while enhancing yourself.
You mean grounded in yourself?
Grounded in yourself, because
How do we do that?
because you will most likely become what you see and what you engage every day. I'll give you an example. If a kid lives across the street who's poor, and a kid lives across the street whose dad is a medical doctor, and those two kids become friends and talk to each other every day, the kid who's poor would not think it's impossible for him to become a medical doctor, because in his eyes, you're my friend.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your dad is. If all I do, if I look around me, is see and enjoy and admire everything else that is not of me and about me,
Right.
eventually those things will start to influence who I am, because that is where I'm going to.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that if you see something you like. But because who I am, my identity is so important to be preserved and developed and built on and enhanced, that's why I try to keep these things around me, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in some of them here.
Right.
So if you look here, right here, let me name some of these books to you. This one is called The Rain and the Night by Dr. Wilton Sankawolo.
Yes. I remember
You all
that
know
one.
who that one is.
Right.
This one is Ebony Dust by Bar Timor.
Right.
This one is The Marriage of Wisdom and Other Stories by Dr. Wilton Sankawolo again.
Yeah.
This one is Why Nobody Knows When He Will Die and Other Stories
I read
by
that
Dr. Wilton Sankawolo.
Yeah.
This one is Murder in the Cassava Patch by Bar Timor. Now, this is an important one. Citizenship and Nationality in Liberia by Dr. Patrick C. Burroughs.
Oh.
Again.
I didn't know Burroughs wrote a book on citizenship.
Of
I know the one
course.
by, Raptel Pele.
Yeah, so this whole shelf are all Liberian books. This Our Dark Country is another Liberian book. A history of African higher education from antiquity to present. And Liberia is prominently featured in that book because the University of Liberia is one of the oldest post-secondary degree granting institutions on the African continent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that shares all
This whole
Liberian
shelf
books.
are Liberian authors.
Thoughts, yeah.
All Liberian authors just on this shelf. And that's what I talk about, keeping myself grounded.
That is so important. Leo, we want to say thank you for the work you are doing, and also...
Let's sum up in the last room, in the gym.
Okay. The gym.
That's where we'll have the party and end the party.
Okay.
So, this space that we're going into, we are just in the process of investing $500,000 to turn it into the best gym in the city.
The best gym in the city.
Yes.
This space,
This space.
this giant size space,
Here right now,
will
it's
be
on a
turned
mess
into the best gym in the city.
as we speak.
And how much are we talking about here?
$500,000 right now. So $500,000, imagine it's already built. So they have $1,000,000. So what's going to happen? The floors will be going. We'll be doing a premium hardwood NBA. If you've been to any NBA style court and see what the flooring looks like,
Right.
it's exactly what's going in here. It will be designed to accommodate basketball, indoor soccer, volleyball, and badminton. It will be designed to do so. When you come, the space will be completed by December. So that's how much work is supposed to be done. The guys have done the first phase of the work.
Is the ceiling done? With the roof?
Yeah, the roof is almost done.
Okay.
What they're going to be working on now is the row lighting, because we're going to be deploying a high-tech audio-visual capacity for games where you got running cameras that can actually pre-record games as you are actually in here or stage things. And we'll also be using it as an event venue. So you have drop-down projector screens that can drop down. So when there's no sport or whatever.
What kind of events? Does any events?
Community events, dinner, banquet. So whenever we have sports, all the nets and everything will be dropped down. They can just roll down. Right. Whenever there are no sports, we can roll everything up and turn the space into something else.
So do you have a plan already set up for the opening when all the construction work done?
Yes, we are looking at getting Masai Ujiri, who is the president of the Toronto Raptors. Many of you will know because we just won the championship.
We just won the NBA, right?
Yeah, so we are hoping to get, but Masai is half Kenyan, half Nigerian. We want the kids to see success as an example from our African community. And he's the only African or black NBA president in the entire NBA right now. So we want Masai to be in this space to officially dedicate this gym in December this year.
And the kids gonna see him and say, "Whoa, he's one of us, and he's achieved this much success."
Yeah.
Why would that tell the kids?
Just even seeing Masai alone tells them that this is somebody who looks just like me and his story is similar to mine. And he came to this country as an immigrant and was able to rise through the rank. But he will also be able to sit down with them and share with them. Imagine them going home and the Raptors game come on and they see Masai walking the stage as one of the VIPs.
Right.
And like, oh, that's Masai. And like, wow, look, here's a picture, a selfie of Masai and I. Right? And for me, that's belief. Like the story I told you about the medical doctor's son and the one that's across the road. So if I can have access to Masai Ujiri, someone that's successful, but at the same time, his story is so similar to mine, then I can push. And the sky is not even my limit. If there's anything beyond the sky, the heavens will be my limit.
Right. So finally, Leo, I know about a project, big one by the way, that you are carrying on in Liberia. Tell us, is it you as an individual or the institution Empowerment Square that is building this learning center in Liberia, state-of-the-art learning center, the first world-class library for Liberia, being there in Liberia, and the project is headed by you?
Yes, it is.
Talk to me about
So it is the institution. So I started Empowerment Square when I was 1 year in Canada from the refugee camp in Ghana. I came in 2006, and by 2007, I started Empowerment Square as an organization. And I started as a one-man show, tutoring kids in the area. And today, 22 staff, $1.5 million budget a year. And that budget is about to significantly grow with the recent funding infusion from the Canadian government. But it is an institution. And the reason it is the institution, I'm always worried about what precedents we are setting. Now, there is nothing wrong with individuals going and doing exploits. But as an individual, when you do great work, it's conditioned on you. And we are all human beings. Right. We have our biases, we have our flaws. I mean, I only want to build a library in Lofa or Bon Country because that's my affiliation. Right. Even sometimes when that is not where it's needed the most. Right. So the only way we can check those flaws as humans is if we ground them in institutions, because the institutions will have those checkpoints that say, no, based on the research, you can do it here. We can do it there. And that is the reason why I've always shied away from doing things on an individual basis. So we built this organization to ensure that the rigor of an institution that requires you to do your due diligence, your research, your transparency, your accountability is in place. Guess what? Even though I founded the organization and I'm the executive director, I can be fired. The board of directors have the absolute power. If I do not do my job, or I fail to do my job, they can fire me.
Wow. So, like you said earlier, the Canadian government just awarded $1.9 million to Empowerment Square.
Correct.
For the continuation of the great work that you're doing.
Correct.
That is big. How do you leverage that? What is the plan to leverage that to get more funding to do more good for humanity?
It's interesting, a lot of people still been messaging me. I've been getting from all over the place calls, some of whom I haven't even responded to. So the messages are too many, so I haven't responded. Right. But while people are still celebrating that, I've moved. I'm already talking to potential funders as to how that money can become $5 million. Because $1.9 million is great, and that's a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But we're talking about grounding this work at a system level. The same way, for example, let me give you an example. You see the YMCA? Right. You know the YMCA not going anywhere. It's here. You automatically assume that the YMCA is here because they've been there over 100 years.
Right, exactly.
That's the kind of work we're doing here at the system level. So $1.9 million, what we're celebrating as great work. I've moved. I spent a lot of time Friday night already emailing and talking to other funders to say, hey, we need $5 million, but don't panic.
Yeah.
1.9 is already in the bank. How much can you put? Half? Can you put $1 million?
So you are leveraging what you already have to assure potential donors that, hey, we got something and we just need a little bit.
And guess what happened? Everybody wants to be on a winning team. I mean, you watch sports, Anthony.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be on a,
You know how it feels. You support Madrid?
That's why I support Madrid. Everybody wants to be on a winning team. You know how it feels to be on a winning team. So everybody's looking around for who they think is a winner. And if I can go to you and say, I have convinced the Canadian government to give me 1.9, guess what? With or without your money, the work will still happen. It's only the matter of how much the scale will be. So you go in and oh, I can turn in $500,000, and then we all take the glory for the $5 million. All right? And number two, you have some guarantee that somebody have done the rigorous due diligence to make sure that they got talking he's capable of accomplishing it first before I get you my money. Guess what? The Canadian government just took a year of vetting, due diligence, all of that, and said, we will give you 1.9. So the president's like, I ain't got to do all that dirty work anymore. If success is what I want in this area, then this is where to put my money.
So the goal here is to replicate what you're doing here in Hamilton, in Canada, and take it to Liberia.
We've already started that process.
With who?
As I speak to you, we just completed a 7-month training for 86 entrepreneurs. And let me pause when I say entrepreneurs, because people quit to think about our young boy and young girl from the college walking around with their photos on there and they say they are entrepreneurs. No, they're entrepreneurs. That's not my issue to judge them. But the serial and real entrepreneurs in Liberia are Arela market, Gobacho market, Douala market. You know why?
Our own money.
Our own money. And they're picking them with a wheelbarrow. They're picking them with a bread to the junction. Anybody who can wake up every morning with zero motivation from anybody, with not even a hope that you might make a sale, and wake up every morning with a discipline to hit a market, a real market, and sell till 7 o'clock p.m. and send 3 children to school at the same time. That's what they are. You can teach that. That is gold. You can teach people how to write a business plan. You can teach people how to add the money. You can teach. In fact, most people who are experts at writing business plans and stuff, that's why they go teach. Because they cannot find the discipline that is required, that wealth of knowledge they get to apply it, they can find the discipline. So in my opinion, if we should be investing in entrepreneurs in Liberia, let's invest in the people who have proven it. And I don't money in real market. So we went to Liberia. We recruited about 86 young people selling in those markets. Some of them, their entire inventory at $50. The whole market, when you take the whole market, you say charge the whole thing at $50. Went through 7 months of training, none of sophisticated thing on whiteboards about, market trends and blah, 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 blah. We broke it down and said, oh man, what are you selling? Or find out what are you selling? Potato green? Okay, how much do you make every day on average? We take all that information and build it into a plan and explain it to them how your business works. And say, here are the things you need to realize. How can you take this business from a small potato green thing to now getting somebody to be selling on another table, open 3 potato green tables, open 4 potato green tables. And that's what we were trying to, because you can teach that. And they all successfully went through answering. We had 40 people in the Nikutown area, 0.4 Nikutown area, and we had another 40 coming from the Rela Gobacho area, and we had 6 coming from Carisburg to actually join them. And they successfully completed with 0 incentive. So when they completed, we said, since you successfully completed, we shocked them. Each one of them got a smartphone with pre-built apps on it. When you're selling, because we taught them how to use it, so when you're selling, somebody can buy 1 bread, you enter 1 bread, $5. If you are hungry, you send for fry fee across the road, you enter a $10 fry fee today in the app. When you finish at the end of the day, you hit enter and round up, it runs all your numbers and tell you, say today you lost.
Data collection
or
is already
today you made profit. What that does is it starts to show you that you sell 5 times more on Friday. On Monday, that much really happens. So why are you wasting the time on Monday to be there when you make 2 sales, but on Friday you tend to make 50 sales? So you know that Friday is supposed to be the day you don't compromise. Somebody can say, come to my wedding on Friday. Say, I can make it on Friday. And because I know what can happen on Friday to my selling place. And each of them, besides the smartphone, each of them got 400 United States dollars. Now, the average business in there, the highest was about $150 US in terms of the inventory. So after learning these tools, we gave each of them 400 United States dollars
You double that
to invest in their business.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for speaking with us here at Focus on Liberia. We appreciate your invitation, and anytime you know our doors are open, just as your doors are also open to us. It was nice talking with you.
Thank you, Anthony.
All right, folks, this is how we will conclude it here. Bye-bye.